Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today is BookList Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library. And every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for the week. And this week we are going to do our follow-up for our 5-star predictions. Round we worked with Jen from Bookish Blonde, who is fantastic. And the buzzword that we picked for this one was 5. The number 5. And we realized how many different ways we could interpret this. So I will show you the books that I read, how 5 works in them, and what I thought. Okay, the first one is The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. This book has 5 things on the cover. That's how I interpreted this. So we have mountains, we have trees, we have water, we have sand, and we have dog tags. I've been waiting to talk about this, but I'm also kind of scared to talk about this. Rebecca Yarros wrote Fourth Wing, which I am completely obsessed with. I've read it twice. I will read it again. A favorite book of last year, one of my favorite books of all time. I loved. That is a fantasy book. This is a romance. This is a military romance. So I wasn't sure what it was going to be like. This book broke me, you guys. Oh man. Okay. I've had this book for a very, very, very long time. And I got it because I am a military spouse. And I was like, military romance, cool. She's a military spouse as well. Her husband was in the military. And I just had never picked it up. And then I ended up picking up Fourth Wing when it came out and was like, oh, this is the same author. What am I doing? Why haven't I read this? And so I picked this one up. I have not cried the way this book made me cry in a very long time. I was sobbing, like tears streaming down my face. I needed tissues. Sobbing. It took me so long to finish the last part of this book because I had to keep putting it down to wipe my face off. Oh, okay. Basic premise. This follows a woman whose brother is in the military and he dies in combat. Enter someone who is from his unit who was basically asked by her brother if anything happened to him to go to their home and their hometown and to make sure she was okay and to kind of take care of her because she has a lot that she's handling now because her brother is no longer there. So she's having to handle a lot on her own and he wanted to make sure she was being taken care of. That's all I'm going to say because there's a few different aspects to this book that I wasn't expecting, which I really, really liked. And yeah, we're just going to go from there. Just know that it's a romance. Know that she has a lot to handle and she's an amazing woman. And yeah, I don't want to say anything else. I really, really don't. If you are a romance reader, pick this up. It was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Yeah, just, I loved with my whole body and soul. Easily a 5-star. Okay, the next one that I read was In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. And this one I listened to on audio and it was narrated by Dan Henning. The audio was good. However, I didn't like the narration voice for one of the characters, which was Rambo. And he's kind of the character that you're supposed to be in love with. And he's the cutest. And oh my gosh, he's so sweet and all this stuff. And he is, the way he was written is, but I didn't like the way that the narrator did his voice because he changed his voice for Rambo. And it just made him sound a little irritating. It was irritating on the ears. So that I didn't like, and it made him sound a little bit ridiculous. So that's the one thing about the narration that I didn't like. Otherwise, it was fine. All the other voices he did were great. It was just Rambo. And I'm like, why Rambo? That's the one that I like. Like, he's a little vacuum that's super cute. But, you know, that's what that is. So this is a book that is definitely inspired by Pinocchio. You can really see the influence that Pinocchio had in some of the characters and some of the settings and surroundings and stuff. So I was like, oh yeah, that reminds me of this in Pinocchio. So that was really cool. The story was good. I wasn't as interested in the story as I've been in his other books. And definitely in this one, there's a lot more references and talk about men's genitalia. I'll just say that. And I know that it's supposed to be funny and quirky and, all that. And it was at first, but it was kind of a lot. And even for me, it was kind of a lot. I was like, okay, we have to make another joke. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it got a little bit old as far as that goes. Like a little bit is fine and kind of funny sprinkled in here and there, but it was kind of like, it was a little bit heavy handed on that. So this one, like it was good, but it wasn't great. This wasn't my favorite TJ Klune. Definitely probably of the ones that I've read, this has probably been my least favorite, but I still gave it a 4-star. It was still a really solid story and his writing is really good. It's his signature, like kind of charming writing that I really, really like. And I do like his characters a lot and I really like them in here as well. Yeah, so I'm going to say that. So it's 4 stars. Very good. Still recommend it. Like if you want to be a TJ Klune, reader, definitely read this one for sure. But yeah, so 4 stars for this one. And 5 comes into this one with 5 words in the title. So in the lives of puppets. Okay. And then I read I Must Betray You by Ruta Sepetys. This one is her 5th published book. So that's how I worked the word 5 into here. This was her 5th published piece of work. And this is a historical fiction that is set in 1989 in Romania and the government that the Romanians were living under at this time. I did not know this because this is true. This is based on true people and a true movement that happened in Romania at the time, basically to overthrow the dictator. I did not know this piece of history, and it is very disturbing. Very disturbing. And the way that she writes, I can't with Ruta Sepetys, just the way that she writes things is just incredible. So we're following a young boy who is in high school, and he basically gets blackmailed into becoming a spy and an informant. And he's informing on a friend of his that he knows who is an American, and his family is there under, American protection. But our main character has contact with him on a regular basis. And so he is blackmailed into informing on this family. However, he is really noticing what's happening and starting to become much more awake about the reality of the situation that he's living in this country. And it is really scary. And the trust issues that have occurred because of what's going on in this book is just kind of nuts. And it's really about all the informing and stuff. You never know who's informing on who. And so nobody trusts anybody else. And that's really hard, especially when it's even your own family members who you don't trust. So it was fantastic. It was phenomenal. It was narrated by Edoardo Ballerini, and he did a great job. It was fantastic. And then at the end of this book, there is actual pictures of the people that are described in here and things that were happening. So that was very interesting to kind of see that as well, because you're putting like people's faces to the names that are in here. But yeah, it was fantastic. It was total 5 stars. Loved it. Guys, those are my 5-star predictions for this round. 2 5s and a 4. It's pretty good. pretty good. I'm happy with that round, most definitely. So please make sure you go check out Lindsey and Jen today and see what their results were from their picks for this round as well. I will have both their channels linked down below. So to make sure you go check them out. And we will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.